Welcome in to Texans Today, everybody. I'm your host, Jeremy Chuggs, and coming up today is what I saw from joint practice up against the Los Angeles Rams. Everything you need to know around the Texans and the Rams during today's practice. I'll get into the nitty-gritty and talk about Texans have some dogs. They have some dogs on their squad, and I'll get to that in just a moment. But if you're not following me on social media already, go ahead and do so. You can follow me on X at Jeremy Chuggs. I have a little bit over 3,000 followers on there. I created a new IG for Texans Today. So if you want more Texans news, rumors, updates, reels, highlight videos, it's over there. And I made a new TikTok as well, kind of similar to my Texans Today IG, but I'll be doing a lot more memes, a lot more, funny videos over there on my TikTok. Only 17 followers, so maybe you get on the ground level. You can be one of those people who's like, yeah, I saw Aerosmith whenever they were in a garage. Kind of like my TikTok. So go follow me on TikTok at Jeremy Chuggs. All those links are going to be available for you in the comment section and description of today's video. And before I get started with anything, we have a J.J. Watt sighting. We have a J.J. Watt sighting at practice. This photo from my guy, Big Sarge Sports on X. And yeah, he was chopping it up with some Texans players. He was chopping it up with some media members as well. What does this mean? He was working out in the Texans facility yesterday. Well, overall, I still think he doesn't come back. I don't think he comes back, but I want it so bad. I want J.J. Watt so bad to come back. He was with the Pittsburgh Steelers earlier this week, hanging out with his brother, hanging out with the Steelers organization, working out there. Then he was at Texans practice today, and he was working out at the facility yesterday. I think he's just making his rounds, seeing some old buddies, hanging out at practice. I still think he likes being around the game, being around, especially in this part of the game, practice, getting ready for the season. He enjoys the camaraderie, but at the end of the day, I really don't see J.J. Watt coming back just yet. I mean, maybe, just maybe, if the Texans are in desperate need, it's a pipe dream, I know, but it's a pipe dream I'm willing to have because I want J.J. Watt back so bad. If you're with me, I know a man can only dream. He can only dream. Like the video if you would be so hyped to have J.J. Watt back for this season. I know it's probably not going to happen. I'm probably going to get comments still of, why are you talking about J.J. Watt? He's not coming back. I know. But a man can dream. Can he? A man can only dream. Now, some top notes from practice today up against the Los Angeles Rams. They were in town. And the first one, this is going to put a smile on your face. Rookie safety Calen Bullock balled the F out. The rookie out of USC was everywhere, all over the field today, everywhere, all at once. I mean, this dude was absolutely insane. He was getting great pass breakups. He had an interception on the day up against Matthew Stafford as well. And I mean, I think he's ready to go. He's ready to get it tooled up and ball out this season for the Houston Texans. If you look at this safety depth chart, we talked about it. Jimmy Ward, Jalen Petrie, they're back this season. Jimmy Ward just got a new extension, so he'll be here throughout the 2025 season. And a quick observation that I saw as well is the Texans were rolling out some 4 safety packages on certain plays, certain situations up against the Rams. They had Petrie and Ward kind of playing more towards the line of scrimmage in the box, and they had Calen Bullock and Eric Murray deep. Now, obviously, it's practice, so they're probably rolling out different things, rolling out different formations and stuff, but pretty interesting that they were more comfortable having Bullock and Murray deep and kind of playing Ward and Petrie more into the box. Maybe an indication of what could come throughout this regular season. And the notes and stuff that I saw from today really had me wondering, did we ever need Justin Simmons? I know I was in the lead. I was one of the leaders of the pack of saying, go sign Justin Simmons. Justin Simmons would be amazing with the Texans. But with Calen Bullock and how he's been playing, maybe Nick Caserio, DeMeco Ryans are onto something. Maybe they're saying, we don't need to pay this veteran because we have a rookie and he's going to ball the F out this season. And talking about rookies, Kamari Lassiter, dog, an absolute dog. I mean, he was going at it today. He was going up a lot up against Cooper Kupp, and the Triple Crown winner, obviously, he's one of the best receivers in the National Football League, and iron sharpens iron in that, Kamari Lassiter, he's been going up against Texans wide receivers all during training camp, up against Stefon Diggs, up against Nico Collins, up against Tank Dell. Now he's doing the same thing against Cooper Kupp. So now once he gets to the regular season, he has Derek Stingley taking the ones from the other teams. I think he's going to be really, really ready to go and really ready to prove himself this season, being the Texans cornerback too. He's gone up against some of the best wide receivers in the NFL already during training camp. I can't wait to see him ball out during the regular season. I think the Texans got them one. I think they got themselves a dog. I think they got themselves another starting corner opposite of Derek Stingley. And I know I was one who I was like very wishy-washy on this Texans draft class. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to put it out there. I gave them, I believe, a B on their grade for the entire draft class. I thought it was good, but I was, a little hesitant on a couple areas. Going into the season, I think it might be an A. Let me know down in the comment section. Going back, a little bit of revisionary history. If you had to, look back on the Texans draft at this point where we are during training camp in the preseason now, what grade would you give this draft class? A, B, C, D, or F? I mean, Kamari Lassiter been looking really good. Blake Fisher been stepping in kind of as a swing tackle, looking really good as well. Calen Bullock, the third-round pick, looking pretty decent. Cade Stover, the fourth-round pick. I think I might have to give it an A- now. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. And while you're down there, why don't you check out the sponsor of today's video, our friends over at Game Time. I'm telling you, it is my go-to ticketing app, and it should be your go-to ticketing app. I've been using Game Time for a while, and it is my go-to app whenever I'm looking for tickets for sporting events, concerts, comedy shows, and more. This year alone, I've been able to see Shane Gillis, Dave Chappelle, Drake, Adele, and I've been to multiple Astros games on the year as well. So don't miss out on a once-in-a-lifetime experience by using Game Time to get you the best deals on last-second tickets. Buy tickets in seconds with 2 taps. Game Time has deals on tickets right up to the start of the event and even an hour after it starts. It's the place to find last-minute seats. And actually, I was looking on the app earlier. I was talking to my producer, Cullen. I'm going to open up my phone real quick and kind of guide you through some of the great deals. You can see here's some great deals for that Week 2 home opener up against the Chicago Bears. I mean, you have some great deals on some all-in pricing right there. But as I'm looking, you can get some lower bowl tickets. There are some great deals right here. You can get some lower bowl tickets. $567. That's $36 off. Also, I saw some great deals. You can get in the lower bowl also for under $500. There is a great deal right now, $438 in row X, section 118. Top 10% of value according to Game Time. I mean, these deals are great. I know it's a little bit more expensive than in years past, but this team is going to put on a show, and I'm telling you, it's going to be worth every single penny. And don't get scammed with other apps. Go ahead and use Game Time for the best prices on last-second tickets to Texans games and even more throughout the city of Houston. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Download Game Time today. What time is it? It's game time. Let's go. Let's go, Game Time. Next up, it was game time for CJ Stroud today. And he was obviously darting up the Rams all over the field, but something that I noticed was his great connection with one Stefon Diggs. And, I think other teams should be really scared of this. They should be really scared of this connection moving forward because we know Stroud has a great connection with Nico Collins. We know how he's able to connect with Tank Dell. But if he's on the same level with Stefon Diggs, I mean, I've said it a million times this offseason, the Texans have 3 wide receiver ones. They have Stefon Diggs, Nico Collins, and Tank Dell. And that connection between Stefon Diggs and CJ Stroud continues to build throughout this season. And something that, we've kind of glossed over a little bit is the fact that, after the Texans traded for Stefon Diggs, they got rid of the end of his contract, essentially making it a 1-year deal for Stefon Diggs in Houston. And all of his former teammates say this dude works harder than everybody else. He is a gym rat. He is, psychotic in his thinking of how he wants to get better each and every single day. So you pair that with him being on a 1-year prove-it deal with this team, absolute nightmare for opposing defenses. I really do think Stefon Diggs is going to want to prove himself and all the doubters wrong. There's been people all over social media who are saying Stefon Diggs is washed. Stefon Diggs isn't a good player anymore. The Texans got fleeced by the Bills. The Bills got better because they got rid of Stefon Diggs. Phooey, get out of here. I think Stefon Diggs is going to prove everybody wrong and say, hey, I still got it. I'm still a top 20 wide receiver in this league. Let me show you why that is true. Now, if you want to see, Stefon Diggs in action, if you want more updates, news, and rumors around the team, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And I wanted to take a second on today's show just to say thank you to each and every single one of you who has hit that sub button. We just reached 16,000 subscribers, a big milestone for the channel. I want to keep on going. I want to get to 20,000. I want to get to 30,000 subscribers here on the channel because I truly do believe we have some of the best Texans fans here on the internet, one of the best Texans communities on YouTube. So if you want to join that, and if you want daily Texans videos for free, it costs you nothing to subscribe. All it does is make sure our videos go into your feed so you see more of my content whenever I put it out. All you got to do is hit that sub button or go to youtube.com/TexansTV. Next up, Joe Mixon getting a ton of work today. I thought it was really nice to see Joe Mixon out there working up against the Los Angeles Rams. And could he possibly be a bell cow for this team? Could he be the guy who kind of takes the mantle? We've been kind of arguing around Texans Twitter, around Texans fans. Who's the RB2? Who's the RB2? Maybe it won't really matter as much once the season starts. I have Dameon Pierce in there right now, DeMeco Ryans and Tytus Howard. If you missed my video yesterday, they were vehemently defending Dameon Pierce yesterday after practice. But Joe Mixon was getting a lot of work, and something that I thought that was really interesting, he was getting a ton of work in the passing game as well, which you think of it, if there was another running back who's be able to, get some run with the Texans, it'd possibly be on third downs, passing downs to get Joe Mixon out of there. If Joe Mixon is really good in the passing game, maybe he truly does get a boatload of carries for the Texans this season, and he's the guy who the Texans really rely on more than anybody else in this Texans running back room. And maybe there's not a lot of, opportunities, carries for those other guys. I really do think Joe Mixon has something to prove as well. And I said it before, going from the Bengals offense to this Texans offense, I think it's going to translate phenomenally. You look back to that Bengals offense that he was in last year, they had 3 really good wide receivers. They had Joe Burrow, who was able to pass the ball all around the field. And now he comes to a Texans offense that is very similar. You have C.J. Stroud, who's able to sling the pill. You have 3 really good wide receivers in Stefon Diggs, Tank Dell, and Nico Collins. I think he fits perfectly with what Bobby Slowick wants to do with this offense. And lastly, the Texans, they're pretty conservative with the injuries. And considering what happened last preseason going into the year, it makes sense. I thought it was pretty interesting also to see Laremy Tunsil give a shout out to DeMeco Ryans. And this is part of the, coaching process where DeMeco might have a leg up on some of these other coaches because he's a former player, a former guy who's done it in this league. And he knows, Laremy Tunsil, he's an all-pro style left tackle. Maybe he doesn't need to get, some work during training camp and during the preseason because he's really good and he's on his P's and Q's already. He had Laremy Tunsil, he had Tytus Howard doing more work on the side, especially whenever it was, Texans versus Rams drills. Noah Brown also was on the side getting some work in, but these guys have all dealt with a ton of injuries this offseason. So DeMeco Ryans kind of playing the safe game, playing the smart game, saying, hey, we don't need to see you go up against the Los Angeles Rams. We know how good you are. We know that you are a really good asset for this team. We don't need any random injuries. We don't need any dumb injuries in the preseason during training camp before the regular season starts. So I thought it was really smart of him, especially with guys like Laremy Tunsil, Tytus Howard, your 2 starting tackles for this Texans offensive line, making sure that they're good to go during the regular season and making sure that they don't get hurt in a meaningless joint practice up against the Los Angeles Rams. Now, that's all I have for you on today's show, folks. Thank you so much for joining me here on Texans Today. Reminder, more videos to come. I have a watch party on Saturday for that noon kickoff. Make sure you're here. It's going to be live. We'll have some fun stuff for you, some fun giveaways. It'll be a great time. So don't miss out. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel or go to youtube.com/TexansTV to get free Texans content all year long.